Hi, in this tutorial we'll be making a bracelet. For this tutorial we're going to need 3 tools. We're going to need a crimping tool, we're going to need a pair of wire cutters, and a pair of flat nose pliers. So the materials that we're going to need are some beading wire. Mine is silver, but yours can be gold or whatever color you want. We're going to need a lobster clasp and 1 split ring, and then we're going to need 2 crimp beads. Now for the beads, they're kind of like an orange salmon color, and we're going to need four large sized ones. They're not too large, they're medium large, and then 8 smaller ones of the same type of bead. And then you're going to need 16 little gold metal beads. Okay, so to get started, you're going to cut a length of beading wire, and mine is about a foot long. It's a little shorter than a foot. I just want to make sure that I have enough. Obviously your wrist is not a foot long, but it's better to have too much than not enough. So let's take one of our crimp beads and just put it on your beading wire. And now you can either take your lobster clasp or your split ring first. Let's just go with the lobster clasp. So we'll take the lobster clasp and put it on the beading wire after you put on the crimp bead. And then we're going to take the end of the wire and pass it back through the crimp bead so that we kind of hook on our lobster clasp. Just like that. And now we're going to use our crimping tool. So take your crimping tool, and there should be 2 grooves. There's a groove in the very beginning, and then there's a double groove behind that. We're going to use the double groove first. So just crush your crimp bead with your double groove, and it should leave like kind of like a moon-shaped dent in the crimp bead. And now we're going to fold that in half using the first groove. So turn it sideways and just fold it in half, and then just tighten it a little bit. You don't have to crush it. It grips pretty good, so you don't have to like crush it, just a little bit to make sure that it doesn't slide. And then just trim your excess wire. You can trim it, or you can bead it through, like weave it through the beads, but I just like to trim mine. So now we're going to start beading. Okay, so we're going to first put on 4 of our gold beads. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that's the first part. Now we're going to take one of our smaller glass beads and we're going to put that on. And now take one of your bigger ones and put that on. And then take another small one and put that on. So this is basically the pattern that we're going to follow. Okay, so we're going to put 4 more gold beads on. 2, 3, and 4. And then 1 smaller glass bead, 1 larger glass bead, and 1 smaller glass bead. Okay, and we're going to do this once more with the glass beads, and we're going to put on, we have 8 more gold beads to put on, so 4 of them. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then a small glass bead, and then a large glass bead, and then another small glass bead. And lastly, we'll put on our 4 gold beads, our last 4. There's 3 and 4. Mine have little tiny holes all around, so it's hard to get it in the middle. Okay, and then finally we'll put on a small glass bead, a large glass bead, and a small glass bead. Okay, so this is what your bracelet should look like. Just like that. Now we're just going to finish it. So let's take one of our crimp beads and just put it on there. Okay, just put it right on. And then you're going to take your split ring, just put that on next. And then, just like you did with the lobster clasp, take your beading wire, pass it back through the crimp bead, just like that. And then you're just going to pull it down until it hits the bead. Just like that. You don't want to make it too tight, because then your bracelet won't move freely. It's going to be really tight and it won't look right. So I like to grab the beading wire that I have and the beads, just to keep the crimp bead from sliding all over the place, just like that. Now take your crimping tool and again use the second groove, the one with the moon shape, crush it. Okay, and then you're going to take your first groove and just fold that in half. Okay, and then just kind of, there's a little flat part on the end of the crimp tool. I just use that to crush the bead a little bit. And then just trim your excess. Just like that. Okay, and now we can just hook it on together. And there we have a finished bracelet.